The certified letter arrived on a Tuesday morning, demanding I pay $47,000 in fines for living in a house I'd owned for 12 years. Except I wasn't even in their HOA. I stood in my kitchen, coffee mug steaming, staring at legal papers that might as well have been in ancient Greek, while outside my window Karen Whitmore, HOA president extraordinaire, pointed at my house from her perfectly manicured lawn like she was directing an invasion. The morning dew sparkled on her grass, the kind measured with rulers to meet community standards. I took another sip and thought, "Lady, you just made the biggest mistake of your life." My name is Garrett Mitchell. 12 years ago, fresh out of the Army after 2 tours in Afghanistan, I used my VA loan to buy 3 acres of pure freedom, a 1970s ranch house on the original Hendricks farm, back when this area was cow pastures and common sense. Willow Creek runs between my property and the fancy Willowbrook Estates development. That babbling water, a daily reminder that some boundaries are carved by nature, not lawyers. I'm an independent contractor, electrical, plumbing, whatever keeps food on the table for me and my 16-year-old daughter, Emma. After my divorce, this place became our fortress of sanity. I built a workshop where pine sawdust mixes with WD-40, and every morning I breathe clean air that doesn't exist in subdivisions drowned in chemical lawn treatments. Emma loves it here. Space to breathe, creek access for tadpoles, a dad who's present instead of deployed. Then came Karen Whitmore, the human equivalent of an HOA fever dream. At 52, she drives a spotless white Lexus that's never seen mud and rules her $800,000 McMansion like Marie Antoinette with a measuring tape. 6 years as president turned her into a suburban surveillance specialist who knows every neighbor's garbage schedule and lawn mowing frequency. Her husband, Brad, isn't passive. He's a county planning commissioner, a detail that becomes crucial later, filed under massive conflict of interest. Our first encounter was at my mailbox. Karen marched over in pearls and indignation, clutching a clipboard like a weapon, gravel crunching under designer heels. "Your workshop violates neighborhood standards," she declared without introduction. I looked at my property, across the creek to hers, then back. "Ma'am, I'm not in your HOA." Her smile flash froze the air. "We'll see about that." That was 18 months ago. What followed was psychological warfare, timing my work with military precision, photographing visitors, appearing at her window whenever I fired up tools, arms crossed, radiating disapproval over 47 feet of creek bed. She even bought binoculars. Emma's 16th birthday party pushed her over the edge, a simple backyard barbecue, music until 9:30 p.m. Legal under county ordinances. Karen called police twice. Officers found no violations. One even grabbed a burger and joked it was the tamest disturbance he'd seen. The next morning, a violation notice on my windshield listed my workshop, garden fence, and gravel driveway as unapproved modifications. $500 fines each. Emma studied it like it might bite. "Dad, this woman's lost her mind." "Yeah, and Karen bet I'd fold like other working-class families she'd terrorized. Pay up, shut up, tear down my workshop, fall in line with her suburban police state." She'd done homework on intimidation, but failed basic research. If she'd checked county records, she'd have seen my property was intentionally excluded from her HOA for reasons that would destroy her empire. Narcissists don't research, they attack. I poured fresh coffee, walked to my fence, stared across Willow Creek at her perfect house with its perfect lawn and corrupt foundation. "Lady," I told the morning air, "you declared war on the wrong veteran." The creek flowed on, indifferent, which turned out to be the right attitude. 3 days after the party, the official violation notice arrived certified, full color, professionally printed, expensive paper. Violations: unapproved modifications including workshop, fence, driveway, landscaping failures, $500 each, 30 days to comply or face liens and proceedings. Admirable bureaucratic commitment. Too bad she'd forgotten one detail. First stop, county courthouse, musty with old documents and conflict. Clerk Dorothy helped pull my 1970 deed, boundaries predating Willowbrook by 40 years. Survey showing 47 feet outside jurisdiction, separated by creek and protected by natural boundary law. HOA management company confirmed. No record of my address, so not in their HOA. Karen wouldn't accept reality. 2 days later, she arrived with brother-in-law Rick, part-time surveyor in orange vest, spouting nonsense about adverse creek migration. Water doesn't move property lines, I said, holding my certified survey. Her face flushed. We'll see what my attorney says. But she tipped her hand. While she played boundary police, I learned from 83-year-old neighbor Mrs. Patterson, over coffee smelling of vanilla and justice, that original plans excluded my property for environmental reasons, creek flood zone. Brad pushed approval anyway. His company built 60% of the houses. Pieces clicked, pattern to exploit. Next violation claimed nuisance affecting values. Karen escalated to threats of liens and foreclosure. Hired Pembroke and Associates, billboard lawyers charging intimidation. But it backfired building my case. Neighbors like the Kowalskis, forced to remove swing set, $8,000 in mods, whispered in grocery aisles. Rodriguez family moved after employer calls. Pattern. Target working families unable to fight, ignore wealthy violations. I documented everything. My counter, attorney Janet Reeves, veterans' rights specialist who laughed at Karen's cease and desist, demanding I submit to jurisdiction and grant trespass for markers. Janet's response cited property rights, harassment statutes, warned of trespass charges. Karen organized emergency HOA meeting on boundary crisis, charts showing my illegal business tanking equity. But home-based businesses are legal if zoned/licensed. Mine was. Code Enforcement Inspector Phillips confirmed. Cleaner than most commercial ops. Security cameras caught Rick placing fake survey stakes at dawn. Emma felt unsafe. Karen timing drives to her bus, photographing with telephoto. Dad, this is creepy. I knew. Crossed into intimidation. Community Facebook exploded. Stories of harassment. Mrs. Patterson had recorded meetings for years. Honey, I've got recordings that'd curl your hair. Then the $47,000 lawsuit, claiming I'd agreed to membership by proximity. Janet's dive. Karen filed 6 prior boundary disputes. 3 families fled or foreclosed. Serial predator targeting working class. Media offensive. TV story, HOA battle divides neighborhood. Karen and Pearls explaining my refusal destroying values. No interview with me. Backfired. Teen networks revealed promises of lower fees for support, bragging to book club about ridding the noisy workshop. Sabotage. Roofing nails in driveway. 2 tires punctured. Emma's car keyed. Move. Anonymous flyers warning of unlicensed work. Business dropped 30%. Karen parked with binoculars, timing me. Janet uncovered smoking gun. 2009 environmental study excluding my parcel for flood/ecological reasons. Brad knew. Ignored. Incorporation papers. Forged signature of dead previous owner. Robert Hendricks, notarized 6 months post-death. Financials. Karen's McMansion in debt. Refinances on inflated values. Harassment propped equity bubble. Recordings. Karen admitting working people can't afford lawyers. Bury him in fees until he breaks. Workshop became war counsel. Janet, Mrs. Patterson, Kowalski's, Rodriguez on video. Battle plan. Motion to dismiss lawsuit. Fraudulent incorporation. Countersuit for harassment/conspiracy/business interference. Injunction halting fees. Evidence. Deeds, surveys, study, forged docs, recordings transcribed, camera footage, financial audits. HOA funds misused for her battles. Karen offered $15,000 settlement on my porch, reeking of panic. I don't negotiate with extortionists. Escalation. Anonymous post calling me dangerous PTSD veteran. Power line cut. More nails. Business warnings. Moved Emma to Mrs. Patterson's for safety. County hearing. Karen's PowerPoint propaganda. Charts, photos, testimonials. Engineer questioned creek. Moving 30 feet. My facts. Deed, survey, study. Mrs. Patterson's tapes played Karen's confessions. Handwriting expert. Forgery clear. Management company. Terminating contract. irregularities. Karen melted down. Screaming conspiracies escorted out. Commission, HOA fraudulent/void, actions invalid, remediation mandatory, criminal referrals. Consequences. Fines nullified, restitution elegible, brad suspended barra diagonal investigative. Neighborhood celebrated with barbecue. Karen/Brad faced felonies, fraud, forgery, conspiracy. Poli, hobatino, zetstitun, klikkulino, hlaban. Brad lost job/company collapsed. Settlement funded Emma's college, family restitutions. Willowbrook reorganized voluntary. Mrs. Patterson president, environmental festival instead of ruler-measured grass. Workshop, community HQ for potlucks, charity, youth teams. Creek healed, herons, otters returned. Broader, Sarah Morgan's investigation sparked Willowbrook Act for HOA oversight. Janet specializes in fraud cases. Emma testifies on reform. Karen, foreclosure, divorce, cramped apartment. We wave as she drives by. Sunset paints the creek gold. Emma and friends build rope swings, no imaginary regs. Kids laugh, neighbors help, no measuring grass. This is what America should sound like. Drop your HOA stories below. Knowledge is power. Bullies win when good people stay silent.